the biggest obstacle when it comes to your goals. Welcome to the Hopefulist with me, Wendy McClure. This is where we turn those nasty, negative thoughts into positive and work toward a happy, fulfilled life. Now, let's get started. Welcome, hello, and I am so happy that you are here. We are going to start out with the quote of the day. Nobody else can want you to grow into your gloriousness for you. You have to be serious as a heart attack about creating an awesome life in order to crowbar yourself out of your comfort zone and make it happen. Something that we're going to be talking about in upcoming episodes, more about getting out of your comfort zone and how scary it can be, yet how rewarding it can be, and it can truly change your life forever. So what do you think your biggest challenge is when it comes to achieving new goals? I wanted to first go over a cool article I found from helpscott.com. It's a blog site. And they talk about 3 reasons to set big goals other than just trying to achieve them. Now, there's value in going after big goals beyond achieving them. And in our experience, blogger talking here, the payoff, even when we miss by a mile, is worth the risk. And here is why we set aggressively large goals. Big goals stretch what we believe is possible. When we set a big goal, we build a bottom-up plan to achieve it, or that is what we are supposed to be doing. Goals not only align and focus a group of people, they force us to get creative and to place bets we may not have otherwise considered because going with the status quo won't get us nearly as far. That is the idea behind BHAGs. What is that? Well, it's big, hairy, audacious goals. The term Jim Collins and Jerry Porras coined in Built to Last to describe wildly ambitious, if not impossible, goals. Big goals force us to test and to learn quickly. Setting big goals forces us to try out a number of hypotheses and experiments, to make some mistakes, all of which exist because we're pushing ourselves to meet an incredibly ambitious goal. We work best when the work is hard. We're big believers in forced constraints like deadlines that force us to approach challenges from different angles. How am I going to get it done? Self-imposed limitations can unlock magic when applied properly to a team, a product, or the business as a whole. As a whole, that is. Now, constraints help you focus on what's most important and bring out your best work. We set big goals not to hold anyone's feet to the fire, but to learn as much as we can along the way and to force creative and innovative thinking. It's okay to swing and miss, and there's no reason to be disappointed when we do. We still want to reward the aspiration and the good faith effort. This is why I always say one of my favorite quotes ever is, shoot for the moon, and even if you miss, you may fall among the stars. I love that quote. I love it so much because even when you're shooting for something so ridiculously huge and you don't make it, you're going to get a whole lot more out of it than if you didn't try to hit that target to begin with. So when we talk about challenges to achieving your goals, the biggest obstacle is your brain. Your brain is constantly working against building new goals. Why? Because your brain is wired for the path of least resistance. It's actually a defense mechanism that goes back to survival. The brain is most comfortable and feels most safe when it knows what is coming. When you start working on a new goal and create a new routine, your brain goes a little crazy because it's not used to this new routine. It doesn't know what to expect, and it doesn't like it. This is when the excuses start popping up. The brain is literally making you come up with these excuses and putting them into your brain because it wants you to stop the pursuit. That's why I love Jen Sincero and her book, You Are a Badass. One of the main sayings on her platform is, your brain is your bitch. Now, what that means is you are the boss of your brain. Don't let it talk you out of new goals and bettering your life by letting the excuses the brain comes up with stop you. Change is hard. We all know that. Your brain is literally afraid of it. It wants to protect you. And it does that best by knowing how to handle everything that comes your way. Once you change that up, it will do all it can to make things go back to normal, to the way it knows how to react. This looks like when you start a new workout routine and you kill it the first few days, then you start feeling a lack of motivation. You come up with excuses as to why you can't do it one day, which leads to another, and then another. And you get to the point where you say to yourself, I just can't do this. I can't keep up with it. You even question why you ever thought you could do it. Yeah, that is your brain playing you. It doesn't want you to succeed. This is why change is so much harder than we ever thought it was. Your brain is literally working against you. But you're bigger than your brain. You are the boss. Remember that. You can override what it is telling you, knowing that what you are doing is for your greater good. And eventually, your brain will relent and get used to this new you, this new routine, and figure out how to protect the new you and new routine. Just takes time. That's all. I've had a really hard time getting into a daily routine when it comes to work. When I left my last radio job, I started doing this podcast every day. Then I decided my time would be better spent focusing on other things and to do the podcast just once a week. Now, I actually did myself a big disservice when I did that. It took me out of my daily routine of getting up early, getting my blog done, my podcast done, and then having the rest of the day to do anything else that I needed. Since I have stopped doing the podcast daily, I've fallen into some bad habits. I sometimes sleep later than I should. And when I do, that just really throws off my whole day. I'm out of sync. I just kind of flail the rest of the day. There's no structure. And I have to admit, pickleball has taken up a lot of my time in the last few years. At least that's healthy, right? But now I've gotten myself an actual job. And that makes everything just a little bit harder. Now, the job's from home. The hours are minimal, so it's a really great opportunity that I'm thrilled to have. But it is more competition for my attention. People often ask me why I still get up so early when I don't have to be at work. The truth is, I like getting up early. I like being up when the world is so quiet and I have the whole day ahead of me. I am most productive in the morning. I get the most work done in the morning. I even tried sleeping in when I first stopped working full time, and I found myself staying up to like 11 at night, and I was like, oh, Jesus, so late. I just don't like staying up that late. I don't know why, but I would much rather be up early and in bed early. So part of the trick is to know what you prefer and work around that. If you're an early bird like me, then plan your day early. If you prefer to stay up late, then, you'll get to your goals and the work you need to do for them later in the day. Just know yourself. Now, I personally can't seem to force myself to do much once 3 or 4 p.m. rolls around. Despite my best intentions, I get involved in social media or a book, and I just can't bring myself back to work. So I have 2 choices. I can continue to try to force myself to keep going, which I can if I really put my mind to it, or just know that I have only until 3 p.m. to get all the work done I need to do each day. And honestly, since I get up at 4:30, I really don't need to still be working at 3 or 4 in the afternoon. That's a really long day. And you have to know when you've had enough. Rest is just as important as productivity. Because if you aren't resting enough, you won't be able to be productive. I used to nap in the middle of the day. If you've been with me for a while, you remember me talking about it all the time. I have gotten out of that habit. I still do something. I do still do it sometimes, but it's not something I do every day anymore. I actually prefer not to nap because it really takes up too much of my day. But then I get tired earlier. So it's okay to take care of yourself. If you don't have your health, then you don't have a whole lot. So make sure to keep yourself healthy with eating the foods that will give you energy. Be active when you can and get the right amount of sleep. Now, when you start on a new path and set new goals, make sure you make them attainable. Don't overshoot. Never works out well. Overwhelm will definitely take over, and your brain will talk you right out of these practices. The only way to make them stick is to go slow and be intentional with them each day. This is all common sense, right? Common sense. But is it common practice? We all know what we should be doing, but do we actually do it? That is the real issue. If you are looking to up your goal game, I would love to help you. I have a program that will help you set and reach your goals. And most importantly, I will be your accountability partner. When or if you fall short, I will be there waiting to course correct. If you're interested, please check out my website at hopefulist.com or shoot me an email at thehopefulist1@gmail.com. If you like this episode, please share it with your friends. And leave me a review. Just go to the platform you listen on, be it Apple or Spotify or whichever app you use, and give me a star rating. You know, you don't even have to write anything. Just hit one of those stars for me. 5-star would be awesome. And I would appreciate it so much. Now, I want you to go on out there and get to those goals. Be badass while doing it. You know I'm right here cheering you on. Thank you for listening to The Hopefulist. Now, don't you feel good? Make sure you come back next week. See you then.